Because this was our first project together with everybody, my biggest fear was not knowing the skill level that we had available to us. There's a lot of times when you get into these projects and you're working with a crew of people and they have a tendency to tell you, yeah, I can do this, or no, I can't do this. And when you're on a shoestring budget like we were, everybody has a very significant role. So when one person doesn't meet their requirements, it has a tendency to drop, and we didn't have any backup plans. So my biggest fear going into this was not knowing if they could complete. And surprisingly, every single person that was there, I gave us 150%.
The biggest challenge in making this film is taking several camera guys that have never worked with much of the equipment that we had on set. There was different camera models. There's equipment that a lot of major productions don't really have access to. It's very unique equipment, and getting people that have never used that equipment before together and have them operated efficiently and get, in a way that we get the shots that we need was a real challenge. And all of them were up to the task, and it was surprising how well they adapted to the challenges that we put in front of them.
Although I'd done some cinematography before, never on this level. So learning cranes and steady cams, and that was quite a challenge at first. But and then just the production schedule and how much we crammed in 2 days was pretty cool. So it was a challenge, but it turned out to be a very, very rewarding experience.
The biggest challenge was for making this film was the Steadicam and the wind. So it was me versus the wind. And the rig wasn't too bad, but it was the fact that the camera kept swaying left and right, no matter how hard I tried. And it's already difficult enough holding the Steadicam when there's no wind. So walking forward, you have a lateral wind, nasty.
My biggest challenge was all of the rewrites and redos that we had to do. Again, when you're working with a zero budget like we were, sometimes you'll get bodies in there that can do stuff. Personal things come up, and you'll lose a crew member or talent, and you have to be able to compensate for that. And then those compensations were many in this particular project. For one of the problems that we ran into is 50, 60 mile an hour winds. We had everything that we needed to shoot outdoors, and you can't shoot in 50 mile an hour wind. So we had to completely rewrite the whole back end of the story to put it indoors.
Well, working with those kind of professionals and the resources that we had was absolutely awesome. I mean, I had been wanting to get involved with people who were serious and who were really wanting to make good films for a long time. And so, as many good ideas as you have in your head, or even like shots or a look or a feel, it just doesn't come together without the right people.
My most challenging scene in Flinch, I didn't do any acting, but I would say they gave me the Steadicam again, and I had to chase the talent through, well, it seemed like live wires, but it wasn't really live wires, so that was a little scary. There are things on the floor that I was clipping with my foot and so on and so forth, and they were removed later, but during that scene, trying to avoid just destroying the equipment.
It was actually the photo shoot for the DVD. It was cold in the tunnel and dripping water, and just having to hold a gun in one spot for such a long time for the gentleman to take the pictures was a little bit rough.
Most challenging scene, most any scene where we had to be technical with the guns. We have Officer Ben, who's been helping us get the technical aspect of holding the gun, walking with the gun, where our eyes would be. That's been the most challenging. So just about every other scene has been challenging in that way.
Pop, 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 pop,
Okay.
pop. Yeah, that was nice. Right.
More like that.
Yeah. You can even try to squeeze your hands together too. When you do it, do with your hands. It's kind of a convulsive movement. It's like that. Yeah, double tap. Got the rhythm. Yeah. Boom, boom. Yeah, right there.
It was invaluable, just the knowledge and the expertise that he brought to make the actions, just with such a rookie like myself, to be able to try and halfway pull it off was just blessing to have him on the set.
He had a good sense of humor, dry sense of humor, but he has some really great techniques that I learned from him, and it was really humbling and really awesome at the same time that he coordinated with my techniques as well.
Well, in this case, it was pretty important because they didn't have any exposure to that prior to this time. So they were kind of running around with the Charlie's Angels pose with weapons, and they didn't know how to act, holding. They needed to be taught how to act naturally in front of the camera. With some modern training methods thrown in because it's to be a modern film.
Definitely was capable, and I think I mentioned Chris a few times. I'd hate to be on the other side of that hill that he was approaching. You know, in one of the scenes where Shelley's she's cresting a hill, looking down on the compound, and just to watch her coming and watch Ben working with her as she crested the hill. I just thought, I'm sure glad I'm on the right side of the law here. He was professional, did his job very well, and helped Shelley. And Jay didn't really need much coaching, but Shelley she came through it perfect, and Ben was good, really good with the actors.
Best student is definitely going to be the female officer. She's going to be the best student. She had to take a lot of direction, and she didn't have any form or idea how to do this stuff. She had absolutely no form of training whatsoever.
Type in SWAT in Wikipedia. I'm pretty sure that his image would come up.
I worked with Jay a little bit, and he did very well. He basically got rid of the chicken wing, which was you see in every single movie. The Matrix is one excellent example where you'll see a chicken wing where Neo was he was attacking a compound, and everyone had that arm out, had that right arm out while they were shooting the gun. That's one thing that you don't ever want to have real world. He kept it down, and that's one thing I was looking for. And Officer Ben corresponded with making sure that he did everything right in regards to opening and clearing rooms.
My favorite scene, it'd have to be the blood splattering on the wall in the boiler room. That whole effect, the way that worked, charging up that mortar and sending it off and exploding all that guy, that was it. That was cool.
When using the blood rigging like I used, it was an air mortar system, basically a charged canister filled with a air charge and then a valve and some blood and matter in it to splatter out. The biggest challenge is just getting everything timed right with the actor, because they don't trigger it. I trigger it separately from the actor. So it's a timing thing and getting the angles right so that I'm not off camera, not being seen, the device is not being seen.
Favorite scene so far was probably that boiler room. I'm really enjoying the boiler room a lot. And like I said, the talent inside there, and the gore cannon was very cool. The timing was great on the shot, receiving the gore cannon.
The wind was so horrible that first day of shooting. When I'm doing the actors on outside scenes, I like to do the makeup outside. So it was a constant battle to keep the actors warm, get the makeup put on the face, keep my hair from blowing out of my face. I mean, there were some pictures that I saw where I had my big old coat on, my stupid hat on. I looked like a dork, and I was thinking to myself, why were you wearing that? But I was thinking it was so cold and it was so windy out there. I was past the point of caring. I just had to get the makeup done and I had to get the actors ready. But I had to laugh when I look at a lot of those pictures because the wind's blowing everywhere with a lot of us and any of us that had longer hair. It was really hard to work.
My most challenging scene was the shootout scene, which was supposed to take place on Sunday afternoon. And the reason is because we had 50, 60 mile an hour wind, which we couldn't shoot outdoors. The whole scene was written, scripted, the shot list was all done for outdoors. Talent was picked for outdoors, locations, everything. So for us to sit down at lunchtime and completely redo that whole thing made that particular scene a huge challenge, because we had to bring it indoors. We had to find a location, we had to get access to the location, we had to get indoors, we had to scope it out, and again, it goes back to the team. We had incredibly forward thinking right here, took charge of what they needed to do, go out, pick the spot, pick the location, grab the lights, and we nailed it.
So we got Philip just got shot like 5 times, so he's having a much worse day than the director and the camera department. If you look over there, and you see we got a separate makeup guy. All the audio's checking it out. We got SWAT.
Let's go ahead and get
making
set
sure
up
the
here
bullets
because
are in a
she's
good
put blood
location.
on him. We don't want it to drip too long.
All I can tell you right now is it's on.
Probably my most favorite scene was when I was doing the gunshot wounds on Matt's chest. I loved doing that. That was so cool.
I think probably the most challenging scene, I guess, would have been the like the gunshot scene where I have been shot a few times, and I was lying on the floor. I think it was probably the most difficult just because it was just me, and I was surrounded by everybody on set. So it was a little nerve-wracking. You know, I had to be, you know, still sinister and all that, but you know, dying, and I was just trying to think of all the things to like make the scene really good, but still not be freaked out by everybody just standing above me, laying on the ground, just watching me.
I think that's probably the most efficient way to do it. Just
cool.
Stay on this road, and then, you know, while he's turning around, just go back and forth on this road.
So when we take off, it'll have to be like that. Because if you have it like this, when it takes off, when the blades spin up, it starts oscillating, and then it competes with the gyro. So it's like, and that. So this way, you know, take off like that, and then you'll completely. You don't look at the helicopter. Don't let it distract you. You're freaking under the hood over there, and you're just watching the image. And the goal is to keep it center mass. We're not trying to do anything creative with the angles. It's just like bam,
No 1/3 anything. We're just trying to center
of the truck wherever we're at.
Just side by side, helicopter's looking to the right. We're going straight, but the camera's looking to the right, and just side by side on the truck. And same principle.
And if you get lost, I mean, it's like your reference point's right there. You can see it skid. Kind of turn back. Okay, that's the back of the helicopter. You kind of see what it's doing.
And the thing moves fast, and I'll plug the battery in, and we'll see how fast it moves, because it's real sensitive, and if you're trying to force the control, I mean, it'll go with the oscillation of the stick. So it's nice, smooth movements, and we'll practice doing that. It won't take that long.